Now on Nightside, 3 confirmed dead and 5 injured in a shooting at Michigan State University tonight. We have all the breaking new details.
Noticeably cooler weather for Tuesday, plus some snow to talk about in the first alert forecast.
You're watching 4 News Now, Nightside. We begin tonight with that breaking news. The man who shot and killed 3 people and hurt 5 others on the Michigan State campus tonight is dead. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kirsten O'Connor. This all started around 5:30 p.m. when police reported shots fired on campus, telling the campus community in a tweet to please secure in place immediately. About an hour later, campus police reported another shooting on a different part of campus. Agents from the FBI and ATF also responded to the scene. Melissa Adan is following the developments from Los Angeles.
Michigan State Police confirming that the gunman in the MSU mass shooting was located off campus and has died from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Students on campus no longer need to shelter in place.
Our hearts are with those who have been affected by this senseless act of violence. As a father, I can only imagine how parents are feeling right now.
While they don't know the shooter's identity, Michigan State Police releasing this surveillance video snapshot of a suspect, a male short in stature wearing a denim jacket, blue ball cap, and red and black shoes. Police believe there is just one suspect who was later found dead off campus. Police reporting 2 separate shootings. The first reported location was near Berkey Hall on the East Lansing campus. Police first sending out an alert on Twitter around 8:30 Eastern time, saying shots were fired near a building on campus and that students should secure in place immediately.
Didn't think twice. It was just kind of book it and get out of again. It was a natural instinct to just run.
Police, firefighters, and EMS all responded to the scene. About an hour later, police saying there was a second reported shooting also on campus, but about a mile from the first location. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer was briefed on the shooting. In a tweet, she shared, quote, "Let's wrap our arms around the Spartan community." Melissa Adan, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And in this video, you see students panicked, running. One student describes what he calls a, quote, terrifying experience.
We were there locked in the rooms, and the guys were telling us to run out the back doors as quick as we can and run for our lives. And I sprinted out there as fast as I can into the woods. And then from there, I thought the side of the campus would be safe. And then I got a text from my brother saying that they're over near that area.
Around 9:30 p.m., University Police tweeted saying the suspect was found off campus, and it does appear that he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. New on Nightside, Spokane County Sheriff's deputies investigated a head-on crash on West Reuter Parkway on Saturday. The driver of one of the cars was arrested for vehicular assault and showed signs of alcohol or drug impairment. His passenger had to go to the hospital. Neither person was wearing a seatbelt. The other vehicle's driver also had to go to the hospital, and none of the injuries appear to be life-threatening. Also new on Nightside, Snoqualmie Pass is closed in both directions. WashDOT East says it will be an extended closure because of rough weather and several car crashes. There is very low visibility and heavy snow. And there's no ETA for reopening at this time, but with snow in the forecast, let's get straight over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker with your first alert forecast.
Well, a winter storm warning for Snoqualmie Pass set to expire at 11 o'clock just a few moments ago. This picture was taken just a few moments ago, and there is still no traffic east or westbound on Snoqualmie, but that snow is beginning to lighten up and things should begin improving. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. We also have snow flying over Lookout Pass, where it has been a tricky day with compact snow and ice on the roads. Also on 4th of July, Spokane has spent most of the day in the Cascade rain shadow with just a few sprinkles. Most of the wet weather today in North Idaho. We zoom in a little bit and find a few flurries here and there around the Coeur d'Alene area, up around Hayden, also down around Cheney, and there's the potential for a few flurries through tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, temperatures are in the 20s and 30s. It is going to be noticeably cooler tomorrow with a northerly flow. We'll drop our temperatures for highs into the 30s for Valentine's Day for the first time in more than a week. We're We're not going to make it into the 40s. 37 for a high tomorrow. Chance of flurries in the morning, and then a mix of sun and clouds throughout the day. Should have some sunshine, especially in the afternoon. I will be back with your 7-day outlook in just a few minutes. Kirsten.
Thank you, Chris. Questions about the future of Social Security, border security, and the debt ceiling filled the community center in Rosalia. U.S. Representative Kathy McMorris Rodgers also answered questions from farmers about redefining the waters of the United States and her plans to cut spending in Washington, D.C. It's part of the representatives' town hall meetings planned for Eastern Washington. 4 News Now asked her about her push to hold social media and tech companies accountable for illegal activities on their platforms.
Skyrocketing numbers of families that have had their children purchase a pill online, thinking that it's something else and it's fentanyl laced and dying, and yet they're not being held accountable.
The Congresswoman says she's going to the southern border next Wednesday with a group of legislators to talk about fentanyl making its way into the U.S. from Mexico. Oh, if you've been driving on I-90 near East Spokane during your morning commutes, you may have noticed something missing today. The Magnolia Street pedestrian bridge is mostly gone. Crews removed most of the bridge Saturday night, but they still have more work to do this weekend. I-90 will be closed once again Saturday night into Sunday morning.
Well, there's just about 2 weeks left in the regular season for college basketball, so not much time for teams to pad their resumes before conference tournaments begin and Selection Sunday rolls around. But overall, a very good weekend in the Inland Northwest. After beating both San Francisco and BYU over the weekend, the Gonzaga men were rewarded by rising 3 spots in the latest Associated Press Top 25 poll to number 13 in the nation. And according to the most recent ESPN bracketology, Joe Lunardi has the Zags as the number 4 seed in the Midwest region. The Bulldogs will now travel down to Los Angeles later this week for a matchup against Loyola Marymount and Pepperdine as they remain a game behind St. Mary's for the first place in the WCC. And on the women's side, they also rose in the rankings, up 3 spots to number 20 in the AP poll. They're coming off an impressive victory over Portland this past weekend that gave them sole possession of first place in the WCC. Senior guard Kayleen Trong was also named Conference Co-Player of the Week thanks to her 20-point performance that put her over 1,000 points in her Gonzaga career. And the Eastern Washington men continued their incredible run by getting a win over the Idaho Vandals down in Moscow on Saturday afternoon to extend their winning streak to 15 games as they also improved to 13-0 in Big Sky play. As of right now, bracketology has them as a 15 seed in the South region as they are more likely than not going to have to win that conference tournament in order to advance to the NCAA tournament. Now they return home this Thursday for a matchup against Northern Arizona. And coming up a bit later on in sports, we're going to have more from a busy weekend in college basketball as well as checking in on some high school district playoffs. Kirsten, send it back over to you.
Alex, thank you. Coming up, video shows 4 teenagers beating their classmate. The victim took her own life. Why her father says the school is to blame. And 3 more objects shot down by the U.S. over North America in just the past 3 days. 4 News Now will be right back.
Track live radar on the 4 News Now weather app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Carpet Barn. Those responsible for making our local roads and highways safe for winter travel would like to remind you that snow removal is an important, critical, and precise task. Please give the right-of-way to removal equipment so we can all get where we need to go quickly and safely.
When you pull up in a brand new $85,000 GMC Sierra Denali, neighbors are going to notice, especially Gary. Don't make this weird, Gary. It's the Spring Into a Sierra giveaway at Northern Quest. Now through March 30th, play daily with your Cameras Rewards card, and you could have a brand new, fully loaded GMC Sierra in your driveway come spring. Details at northernquest.com.
Hi, I'm Chris with Clark's Tire and Automotive. Right now is the best time to get your vehicle in to get it checked over. Come on in for a free winter inspection. We're going to check your brakes, shocks, struts, tires, air filter, wiper blades, and your heating and cooling system to make sure you're winter ready. If you can't make it into one of our shops, give us a call. We now have a mobile service. We offer a 2-year, 24,000-mile parts and labor warranty. We support our local law enforcement, our schools, our nurses and doctors, and we're here to support you. Come and try us out. We are a friendly neighborhood service repair center.
For a limited time only, get a new John Deere 1023E compact utility tractor with a 120E loader for only $199 per month. Take advantage of this exclusive offer for low monthly payments on top-of-the-line equipment that gets the job done, backed by our consistent quality customer service. Hurry in to your local Pape Machinery Ag and Turf store today to cash in on these limited time offers and get your property ready for the spring ahead. Pape keeps you moving.
Winter weather means hazardous driving conditions. If you must travel, follow these guidelines to keep everyone safe. Slow down and keep a safe following distance. Use traction tires. Give snow and emergency vehicles the right of way. Carry an emergency kit. Brought to you by Lakes, Worley, Post Falls, and Eastside Highway Districts. 4 News Now is brought to you by Foothills Mazda.
High temperature today, 42 degrees, 39 is our average high. We're going to be down below average for the first time in, well, since the first day of February. Sunset these days is 10 minutes after 5. Tomorrow, 37 for a high, cooler conditions and the possibility of some snow flurries in the morning. Here's our forecast radar. Most of the snow is going to be over the central panhandle down into the LC Valley. We are still under a winter weather advisory in the central panhandle, but you may also have some very light snow in parts of North Idaho. Up to a quarter of an inch of snow around the Coeur d'Alene area. Here's 5 o'clock tomorrow evening, and the instability of the late afternoon and evening wouldn't rule out a few other instability showers in the form of graupel or a little bit of light snow, but there'll be some sunshine to go along with it. That winter weather advisory goes until 7 o'clock on Tuesday. 3 to 5 inches of additional snow above 4,000 feet for that area shaded in purple on your screen. We are going to be in a northerly flow tomorrow, and that is what's going to drop our temperatures for the next couple of days. High pressure otherwise, so it should be fairly quiet for Wednesday, Thursday, and then we do have another system that is approaching for Friday. However, as you can see, the closer it gets to the coast, the weaker it becomes, and I don't think there's going to be much left of it once it reaches the inland northwest. Possibly some snow showers in the mountains, and our temperatures are going to start to rebound as well. Here's a look at your planning forecast. Some flurries tomorrow morning in Spokane, 37, 38 on Wednesday, still running a little below average with partly cloudy skies. And then we're back up into the 40s. Slight chance of precipitation on Friday. I'm starting to think the chance of seeing anything in the valleys is even less than that. Wet weather potential as we get into next week with high temperatures in the lower 40s. Looks like we may have some colder and wetter weather, however, as we get into the middle of next week. That's what the long-range models are saying right now. We will keep you updated as that time arrives. In the meanwhile, beautiful sunset. This is from City Beach in Sandpoint, looking over Lake Pend Oreille. This is from Rebecca Bozo. What a moody sky. This time of year, you get those. Tonight's was similar as well, with the showers off in the distance and some clear skies ahead. Really makes for a beautiful night, Kirsten.
Almost reddish, just in time for Valentine's Day.
Oh, yes, good point.
Thanks, Chris. The superintendent of a New Jersey school district where a bullied 14-year-old took her own life has resigned. A video showing her being bullied lasts less than a minute, and we are going to show you edited segments, but we do want to warn you, some of it may be hard to watch. This video shows 4 teenagers attacking Adriana Kush, first hitting her with a water bottle several times and then beating her to the ground as school personnel intervenes.
She blacks out, and they don't call an ambulance. They take her to the nurse's office.
Her father was the one who told police what happened and showed them the video, which quickly circulated online, prompting a slew of hateful comments. Her dad took to Facebook writing, if the school contacted the police and filed a report and conducted an investigation, these videos would have been discovered immediately.
Adriana was the most happy, beautiful young lady in the world.
The superintendent at the time says police were notified and the 4 attackers were immediately suspended. They've also been criminally charged, one with aggravated assault. Well, according to the CDC, young people are in a crisis. Teen girls in the U.S. are experiencing record levels of violence, sadness, and suicide risk, according to the agency's Youth Risk Behavior Survey. The responses offer the first look at these trends since the start of the pandemic. 57% of teen girls felt persistently sad or hopeless in 2021, double the rate for teen boys, and nearly a third of teen girls seriously considered attempting suicide. The CDC says both those metrics have increased dramatically over the past 10 years, underscoring significant declines in youth mental health and overall well-being.
These data show a distressing picture. America's teen girls are engulfed in a growing wave of sadness, violence, and trauma.
The study also showed LGBTQ+ teens were much more likely to have experienced all forms of violence and had worse mental health outcomes than other teens. CDC officials say that many of the challenges facing teen health and well-being are preventable, that schools are on the front lines of the mental health crisis, and they must be equipped with the proven tools to help students thrive. Some mental health experts are calling for a complete overhaul in treating children's behavioral health care needs. Pediatricians say there's been a surge of younger children needing mental health care since the pandemic. A new study shows that of young children and teens who visited the emergency room with mental health issues, less than a third of them had mental health support following that visit. And research has shown that follow-up visits with a mental health care provider do lower a person's suicide risk. One of the study's authors says she hopes the study will prompt policymakers to invest more so children can access care no matter where they live. For every 100 children aging out of foster care, 17 will end up living on the streets within a year, and 1 in 4 will be arrested. Some lawmakers say the state needs to step up, and the way to do that is to support those young adults aging for much longer than it is. Senator Claire Wilson of Auburn is sponsoring Senate Bill 5230 that creates post-extended foster care. She says it won't be cheap, but it will be worth every penny.
Being on public assistance for the rest of their lives, substance abuse and the need for treatment. We look at criminal convictions. We look at just their own, the cycle of their own children then being part of a system.
We'll take an in-depth look at Senate Bill 5230, including how much it will cost. And you'll also hear from one impressive young man who says, while he can't benefit from this bill because he has already aged out of foster care, he thinks it's a no-brainer for you to support it. Watch Robin Nance's story tomorrow morning on Good Morning Northwest beginning at 5 a.m. 3 days and 3 more objects shot down by the U.S. over North America. Friday, an object over Alaskan airspace. Saturday, an unidentified object downed over northern Canada. And yesterday afternoon, a high-altitude object shot down near Lake Huron, Michigan. You may remember a Chinese surveillance balloon was destroyed off the coast of South Carolina last weekend.
Their altitudes were considerably lower than the Chinese high-altitude balloon and did pose a threat to civilian commercial air traffic. And while we have no specific reason to suspect that they were conducting surveillance of any kind, we couldn't rule that out.
As for why the U.S. appears to be finding more high-altitude aircraft, Kirby, who you just heard from, says it's because the military has recalibrated its radar system to track smaller, slower-moving objects. The events have led to questions about what the objects are and where they came from. The White House says the only certainty is that the objects did not originate from outer space. New on Nightside, the future of ride-sharing is here. Amazon's self-driving car, Zoox, has successfully tested their robo-taxi with passengers on a public road. Zoox is a fully autonomous vehicle without a steering wheel or pedals, and it has room for 4 passengers. No date set for a commercial launch, since the vehicle will still need government clearance. New on Nightside, a plunge the length of the Empire State Building. That's how far United Airlines flight fell just after takeoff from Maui, coming less than 800 feet from crashing into the Pacific Ocean. The terrifying details just coming to light. CNN's Gabe Cohen has more.
Another alarming incident in U.S. aviation, a United 777 diving toward the ocean just after takeoff.
It certainly felt like a roller coaster.
Rod Williams was traveling home from vacation with his family.
It's one of those things where you start counting your blessings. You start, asking yourself, is this the last time you're going to see your family?
The flight takes off from Maui December 18th, climbs 2,200 feet, then suddenly plunges 1,400 feet toward the ocean, falling for 21 seconds, reaching just 775 feet above sea level before abruptly leveling out and rapidly ascending once again. The plane, which can carry more than 300 passengers, was mostly full, according to Williams.
What did pilots tell the passengers?
They got on the intercom and simply said, well, ladies and gentlemen, you probably felt a couple G's on that one, and everything's going to be fine. It's going to be okay.
The crew itself reported the incident after landing safely in San Francisco, according to the FAA. After its investigation, the pilots, who have a combined 25,000 hours of flight time, received additional training. But neither the FAA nor United will say why the pilots ended up in a dive, telling CNN those safety investigations are confidential.
Well, as Valentine's Day approaches, we're very close. The FBI and the Federal Trade Commission are warning people to be on the lookout for romance scams this holiday. We'll tell you why after the break.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
It's back. If the Gonzaga men's basketball team wins the 2023 National Championship, Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning will refund all eligible equipment purchased from Bill's Heating and Air between January 15th and March 15th. Yes, you heard that right. So call today and get your new instant hot water tank, furnace, or AC unit. Treat yourself to heated floors or many of the other products we offer at Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning. Terms and conditions apply. Go to callbillsheating.com for more.
Home is where you hang your hat, snuggle up, hide out. Home is when you're with the ones you love. It isn't just a place, it's a state of mind. At Idaho Central Credit Union, our home is Idaho. We grew up here, and we're proud to help more Idahoans with their home loan than any other financial institution. Idaho Central Credit Union. We believe home is where you make it.
Right now, lease a 2022 GMC Sierra for $495 a month, and GE will include a $500 rebate and a $1,500 lease loyalty rebate for qualified buyers. The Sierra features a 310 horsepower high-output engine and 8-speed automatic transmission, best-in-class crew cab, stylish 20-inch wheels, and much more. Come see the selection of new Sierras just off I-90 at George G. Buick GMC, the top volume GMC Buick dealer in Washington State.
Hey, have you seen this TikTok family pairing thing?
Yeah, it's a bunch of settings we can customize.
So
Shauna's parents will be like, okay, so I'm thinking 40 minutes of screen time a day. And Shauna's all like, what? I think 60 is fair. Or you know how Ricky posts those 6 solos? Well, his dad's like, these are sick, but they're only sick for you and your friends. Or you could be like, I'm extending your screen time, son, and your curfew.
I don't sound like that. Do I sound like that?
Save through Tuesday with Bi-Mart's latest savings book.
Thanks for staying up with Nightside. As Valentine's Day is nearly here, the FBI and the Federal Trade Commission are warning people to be on the lookout for romance scams. Con artists target lonely people through dating apps and social media, and they're after their money. CNN's Mike Valerio has the red flags to know.
She said she wanted
wanted me to text her, so I started texting her.
Broke and heartbroken.
So I went to my bank account and it said I was $5,780 in the debt.
New numbers from the Federal Trade Commission show romance scams cost nearly 70,000 consumers $1.3 billion in 2022. A growing concern, romance turning into investment scams.
Romance becomes the hook, and then that person that they now feel attached to suggests to them that they might try investing in cryptocurrency, and it's all a scam. They send money and they never get it back.
They warn anyone can be a target.
Don't even need to be looking for love.
So what are the red flags?
A big one would be that they cannot meet you in person. They will have all sorts of excuses not to meet in person, and generally those excuses are built right in from the beginning. They're baked into their identity.
The FBI sharing these tips for protecting yourself. Be careful about what you post and make public online. Scammers can use these details to better understand and target you. Research the person's photo and profile to verify their identity, and never send money to anyone you have not met in person. I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
The Northern Quest Resort and Casino announced its first lineup of performers for its outdoor summer concerts. This year's lineup includes the Avett Brothers, Dan plus Shay, and Young the Giant with Milky Chance. Stick around, sports is up next.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by R&R RV.
Every once in a while, people will come along. They bring their instant identity to the table. This kid brings his heart on his sleeve.
Who got you into music?
My dad passed away a couple of months ago. I could tell he meant a lot to you. Yeah,
Sorry, buddy.
I got it, man.
I'll tell you I love you once more. Time is gone. Oh, sorry.
Young man, your dad is very proud.
The best is yet to come.
Yeah, buddy.
Own the elements. Quattro in the Audi Q5.
Let's go, buddy.
New tonight.
Super Bowl money. 19 million Americans called in sick to work today. Wait, where's Guillermo?
With MVP Patrick Mahomes, Kate Blanchett, and
the exclusive world premiere of my next big project, the Oscars.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, new tonight on ABC.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think I'll sell my veggies at the market.
Do you even remember to water the house plants? I do this?
You can do this.
Hey, we need to build a home office.
We're adding another bathroom.
I think I'll study programming.
Bro, you even connect your phone to Bluetooth.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
Years in foster care, aging out of the system at 18 with few options and no one to turn to. I'm Robin Nance. I'll introduce you to one former foster child who is beating the odds, how a change in the foster care system could help others do the same. Tomorrow on Good Morning Northwest.
Charged with style. The fully electric Audi Q4 e-tron.
In just about a week and a half, the WIAA basketball state tournament will be getting underway, and there are no shortage of teams in our region vying for a chance to hoist a championship trophy for their schools. The district rounds continue tonight with the 2A girls first round loser out between East Valley and Shadle Park in the first quarter off a Knights inbound. Mackenzie Fager is going to be right there for the steal, and she'll drive to the basket, get the contact and the bucket to go down as the Highlanders off to a fast start. A little bit later on in the quarter, Kylie Archer, living up to the name, nails it from deep. She would finish with 12 points on the night. Just before the end of the first, off a miss, Alexis Bell is there for the rebound and put back, and the ball will go around 1, 2 and finally drop as luck favors the prepared. Highlanders up 18, and they would just continue to extend that lead in the second. Archer from the top of the arc again drains the shot and gets fouled in the process. She completes the 4-point play, and Shadle Park goes on to win 56-18. They'll now travel down to Pullman tomorrow to take on the Greyhounds. And it's always sad every February when the Super Bowl concludes and we're left wondering, what are we going to watch now? But fear not, because this time of year, that's when the college basketball season really gets underway, and we are now less than 4 weeks away from Selection Sunday. And for the Gonzaga men, they got a couple nice wins last week, which resulted in them rising in the latest Associated Press Top 25 poll. The Bulldogs come in at number 13 in the nation, up 3 spots from the previous week. On Saturday night, they overcame a 6-point second-half deficit to beat BYU for possibly the final time as WCC foes, and in the process stayed within a game of St. Mary's for that top spot in the conference standings. But just because the team made it through a difficult 3-week stretch, don't expect the road to get any easier from now until the conference tournament.
As we get past January and we get into February, man, even you watch those games on TV, I mean, it gets more and more physical. And so, when that happens, you just have to make plays. Literally, a lot of times it's not what you're running, because most guys got you so scouted and you played them twice. And these guys know them and they know us, and you end up just having to make plays.
Bulldogs will now return to the court on Thursday, as it'll be a rematch with Loyola Marymount down in Southern California. And the Gonzaga women also rose in the rankings today, climbing up to the number 20 spot after their win against Portland on Saturday afternoon. Guard Kayleen Trong was also named WCC Co-Player of the Week after her 20-point performance, with 17 of those coming in the second half. And even though the Bulldogs took back sole possession of first place in the conference, head coach Lisa Fortier knows they still have work to do in the final 2 weeks of the regular season.
I don't know what's going to come. We have 4 tough opponents remaining. Our closest game, I think, right? Our closest game was Pacific. We played St. Mary's without their best player because she was out. She's back now. And you got to go on the road to 2 teams that are basically like playing 2 new teams. It's been so long since we played them in December. So before Christmas even. So it's been a long time. So I think we have a lot of work left ahead of us.
Gonzaga will finish out the home portion of their schedule this weekend with a matchup against Pacific on Thursday evening. And they may not have received any votes in the latest polls, but the Eastern Washington men continue to be one of the hottest teams in the nation as they extended their 15-game winning streak over the weekend, beating Idaho 73-66 down in Moscow. With just 2 weeks to go in the regular season, the Eagles have a perfect 13-0 record in the Big Sky Conference and remain 2.5 games ahead of Montana State for that all-important first place. But with all that said, they're still probably going to have to win the conference tournament in order to make the NCAA tournament. Next up for them is going to be a matchup against Northern Arizona on Thursday night. 4 News Now, we'll be right back.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
If your checking account isn't earning you money, it's time to switch to bonus checking from Numerica. The account that earns an incredible 2% annual percentage yield. That could earn you up to $500 every year or more.
Alcoholism and drug addiction are very treatable with evidence-based therapies. Colonial Clinic, a Spokane outpatient treatment center, can start patients in treatment the same day they call. We've been solving addiction problems for individuals and their families for over 3 decades. Through closed group therapy, clients advance together with their common experiences toward a healthy lifestyle. We offer addiction treatment, mental health counseling, and now medication-assisted therapy for those who need it. Call for a free consultation. Colonial Clinic. Call today, start treatment tomorrow.
At Mazda, we engineer confidence behind the wheel for all our drivers. The fact that the 2023 Mazda CX-5 remains the only small SUV in its class to achieve the highest rating in the new IIHS Side Impact Crash Test as of July 2022 ensures this confidence also extends to our passengers.
The all-wheel drive Mazda CX-5 was built for the Pacific Northwest. We have over 60 Mazdas in stock now at Foothills Mazda. Take yours home today or visit SpokaneMazda.com.
When Aspendetta told me that my dentures was ready, I was so excited. I love the confidence. I love that I can flash this beautiful smile and make the world smile with me. I would totally say Aspen Dental changed my life.
Aspen Dental makes new smiles affordable. Right now, get 20% off dentures. We do anything to make you smile. Schedule your consultation today.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
Cooler tomorrow with a chance of snow in the morning, but just the very lightest of snow. I think it's going to be a beautiful Valentine's Day.
Well, look at all those pretty hearts. All of Chris's graphics have been themed today. It's been very nice. Reminding me to make sure I get home and put the Valentines in the car for the day.
Yes, don't forget that.
You know, it's like nostalgic for some parents when they're doing it. Right now, I'm just in the thick of it. I gotta write everyone's name.
It's not.